Welcome to the How You Got Started podcast, dedicated to helping you find your passions by hearing stories from entrepreneurs that are living theirs. Today, we're speaking with Scott Henderson, who has sung his way into the hearts of audiences through Instagram and Facebook.
On a cul-de-sac in a dream home I'd like to share. This is 34 Simone, 5 bed for a bathroom home. You can call me Scotty, check out the premium lottie. Conservation what's behind, walkfish kayak to unwind. 2-car garage, all for you. In-ground lights and sprinkler too. Luxury finished, clean split, hand scrape, hardworking insane. Open concept, natural lighting, massive layout, so inviting. 4 beds up, 1 down below.
Thank you so much for joining me today, Scott.
So excited to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
So you are a well-known real estate agent in the area.
I am?
Tell me, yes, you are.
Oh.
I've talked to so many people. I'm like, yeah, I'm going to be interviewing Scott Henderson. They're like, oh my God, I love that guy.
Oh, good.
But tell me about your story. How did you get started in real estate?
Well, I got started in real estate in 2012. And to be honest, I made the biggest mistake possible. I tried to kind of tone things down and be something that I'm not. So I went to open houses in a full suit and kind of conduct myself the way I thought a real estate agent was supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And I did that until actually I got married. I was on my honeymoon and a bunch of my friends were starting companies locally in Kitchener-Waterloo. And they were calling me for marketing advice because that's my background before real estate. Giving them advice on how to be authentic, be yourself, and if you're yourself, people will be attracted to you. And I was telling them how they should use video and they should showcase their awesome personalities. And my wife just turns to me and starts laughing. She's like, "That's great advice." And I was like, "Thanks." She's like, "You do none of that." Oh, wow. And I took a hard look at myself and I was like, I was doing fine. I was doing fine as a realtor, treating my clients really great. But I was definitely trying to be a traditional realtor. Mm-hmm. So I called my wedding videographer, actually right when I got back. And I said, "I have an idea. I'm just going to be me now. And I want you to help me do a bunch of videos. We're going to do educational videos. I love teaching my clients things, but I'm going to do it in a fun way." So we started with this series called Thinking About Real Estate, and people started to see that I was doing things a little differently. So I was doing fun everyday things and then joking around about real estate topics, but also being educational. Then I started thinking about, okay, well, how can I incorporate this into listing videos? So then I started making the listing videos a little more entertaining, started to joke around. And I was already doing that with my clients when I would show houses.
Right.
But I was essentially now bringing that into the video itself. And then it just kept going further and further and further to what it is now.
Tell me about your first video where you sang like a full song. What was that like?
That was scary. So I have no musical background at all. So the idea behind the music and the rhyming has nothing to do with my ability in music. I don't sing. I had never made a song or played around with that prior. But do you remember when you were a kid or when you were in school, they'd have you make up rhymes to remember difficult things?
Yeah.
I took this mega memory course before I went into university, and they had us do all this rhyming, and we made this song, and we had to come up with this really crazy thing that we ended up kind of like singing that rhymed, and then at the end, we all wrote it out. And we ended up learning the periodic table with this song.
Oh, wow.
And it took us like 40 minutes to create the song. And I was like, wow, if I knew that when I was in high school, chemistry would have been a lot easier.
No kidding. Everything should be taught in song.
Yeah. But so then, so when I was trying to think of a cool way to market and make homes memorable, I was like, okay, well, if that works, and I know from a marketing side, jingles, right? So and when I grew up, everything that people bought had a jingle. Big companies all have a jingle. So I was like, if I can make it musical and make it something that people would remember, it's going to improve people's memory of my clients' homes. So if I can get the exposure out, now people are going to be singing someone's address before going. How is that not going to help sell a house, right? Like if people are singing about a street address and all the features of the house, and that gets stuck in their head, that's going to get people remembering a house, talking about a house, which is going to be good for my clients because it's more exposure.
Now you don't just sing a song, you put like entertainment into it. Like it's a full body act that you have going on.
Okay, sure.
That is also extremely entertaining.
Well,
I think
appreciate that.
part of the thing that people love as well. It's just watching you be hilarious and it seems like you're enjoying what you're doing.
I love every minute of it. So yeah, in general, I'm naturally relatively playful and jokey in most avenues of my life anyways. Like I joke around with my kids all the time. I'm relatively sarcastic, but in a nice way.
Yeah, in a Canadian way.
In a Canadian way. I'm sorry if that offended you. Sorry. No. In general, I have a lot of fun doing it because the key is making it entertaining, right? So the idea is to get people to watch it and watch the whole thing. So I know that if I just, were to take a gimbal and walk through the house, if people haven't decided they loved it in the first 1 second, they're going to go to the next video, right? But if I make it entertaining, and it's fun, now all of a sudden they're going to watch a little bit and they're like, oh, what's this guy going to do next? So they're going to watch longer and longer. So it's a balance because I need to make it entertaining enough that people watch, but I also have to make sure it has enough information so that it showcases every element of the house. So the process is very long. I go through and I write out, I don't really write out a script of what I'm going to say in like the walkthrough part, but I make sure I highlight all the key parts. So, okay, what kind of stone is this? How many bedrooms, bathrooms? Who would be buying this house? What type of market am I trying to attract? What type of buyer's going to be here? And then I'm pulling all that back. And then as I'm walking through, I'm trying to talk to the people I think would buy the house. Does that make sense?
Yeah, amazing. Now, we had spoke earlier, and you said that you're not naturally, like you are a funny guy, but you're also, you said you're not naturally extroverted.
Not at all. No.
How have you made that leap from introvert to, being out there?
Learned extrovert?
Yeah.
Yeah. So my mom and dad are amazing. I had a great upbringing. Best big brother in the world as well. But I was always fun and jokey with them. And then I was fun and jokey with 4 friends. So I would say I'm the same guy as I was when I was a kid to 4 people. It's the other people. So the second I was around other people, if I was in a class with other people or I was meeting someone for the first time, like there's no way I could have done this when I was a kid. Like I would have been beat red in a ball, scared, nervous. When I was around 16, there was a new teacher that came to the school. His name was Mr. Nickel. And he had me give him a tour of the school just randomly. And so I was like showing him around the school and he's like, you should get involved in school. I was like, yeah, right. There's no way. But he convinced me to. And then I got involved with like student government stuff and then assemblies and started pushing myself outside my comfort zone and being myself in front of people, which was a brand new skill. Getting pushed outside my comfort zone.
Right.
That helped.
Bad happened.
And nothing bad happened. So then I got a job as a busboy at a place called Filthy McNasty's.
I remember that place.
Oh, perfect.
Yeah.
So this might, the reason you remember it also might come into play in this story. So get a job as a busboy. I start learning how to be around people, right? Just cleaning tables and talking to people, running jokes off people and seeing how they respond. I was like, okay, getting more comfortable. Then they promoted me to bartender, but gave me the worst shifts. No patrons. I was in the basement, no one there. So I realized that if I invited people to come see me before they went other places, I'd have patrons.
Huh.
So then I started bringing people to come, and I'd bartend for my friends and people that I knew, and then they'd go to the bars that were busy. Then Filthy's was like, do you think you can turn this into a nightclub? And I was like, sure. So I worked with them to start bringing people in. We created bar nights there. So now people started to come to Filthy's at night instead of going other places. So then we expanded that. And then, so like, do you remember when you were growing up, it was like Monday nights you go here, Tuesday nights you go here, Wednesday nights you go here.
Yeah. It's a long time ago, but yeah.
Venues used to hire me to create those nights.
Oh, wow.
So they'd be like, I want to be the place to go on Monday. I want to be the place to go on Friday. So I'd work with them to create the night and bring the people to the place.
And this is without schooling.
This is while I'm in school.
Okay.
So
What did
I'm
you take?
19, 20. I took economics
Okay.
at Waterloo.
So nothing to do with marketing,
No. So I was going to go to Western for business.
Okay.
But I'm 19 years old in OAC, and I'm doing stuff in the bar scene, and I meet the heads of a bunch of Molson reps, and I'm serving them and talking with them and joking with them. They said, where do you go to school? I said, Waterloo Collegiate Institute. And they're like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm in high school. They're like, oh, where are you going to school? I'm like, I'm thinking about going to Western for business. They're like, nah, go to UW. If you go to UW, we'll give you a job. You'll be the Molson guy for UW.
Huh.
And I was like, okay.
Wow.
So yeah, recruited out of high school to go work for Molson. So I went and did that. I loved it. So then I left Molson and started an event and marketing company and started training companies, doing marketing for companies, restaurants, bars, doing corporate events, charity events, doing big events for thousands of people, got involved with Oktoberfest, did their marketing, and just kind of grew. And I did that with my best friend. So that was my entire 20s.
Fun.
It was awesome. But it's when you're doing in that world. I got home one day at like 4 a.m. after like closing up one of the events. And I realized, I was like, this isn't going to work. Because my number one thing since I was 14, so I remember in grade 9, they said, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was like, an awesome dad.
Oh.
It was like, just, that's what I want. And they looked at me like, something's wrong with this kid. Like, yeah, no, like,
I think that is, though.
well, they were like, okay, like everyone's saying like, well, I want to be an actor, I want to be a rock star. I'm like, I just want to be an awesome dad.
But why do you think you had that motivation, that feeling? What?
I don't know. I just, it's what I always wanted. Like that's everything I do is to be a great dad.
That's amazing.
That's what I want.
And are you a dad right now?
Yeah, I have 3 boys, 4, 2.5, and 10 months. 10 months today.
Oh.
So
3 boys.
3 boys.
You had this crazy awesome life in your 20s. You're rocking it. And then you realize it's not going to work if you want to be the best dad ever.
Most fun big events are in the evening, right? Because that's when people are done work. So I was like, I need to switch. So I met with a bunch of mentors, people that had kind of helped guide me through my 20s, people that were successful in the community, and they were like, you know what you'd be great at? Real estate. And the reason why they said it is what I'm doing now. It's not what I did when I switched.
Right.
And the hardest thing in any career change is going from being really good at something. Like I was really good at events. I was really good at marketing. I was like, that was something that I had honed and I was successful in. And then I got into real estate and I was like, well, now I got to be a realtor.
Yeah.
Right? I had this aha, poof on my honeymoon where I was like, wait a second, like, I got to take some of the stuff that I did in my past and do real estate the way I want to do real estate. And since doing that, it's been fantastic. And it's so much more rewarding because I get to use the creative side and the marketing side while still helping people.
That's amazing. And I believe you had mentioned, so your wife was the one that said, what are you doing?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Be yourself.
Yeah.
So she's obviously one of your biggest supporters.
For sure.
How involved is your family?
Very involved.
Yeah.
So essentially now, and I think this is important for anybody that's doing stuff that they're putting out online. If you have people that know you really well, the way I do it is when I create something that I'm going to put out there, whether it's a listing video, an educational video, I show it to them first because they know me. So my goal always, if I'm going to put something out online, I want it to be representative of who I am. So I'll show it to them and my wife will say, you know what? It didn't come across as you. You didn't have that twinkle that I'm normally looking for, right? Like you tried to be too serious. That's not how you talk. Things like that, right? So then I just go and redo it.
Wow.
And then I show it to her again. I'm like, is this me?
Yeah.
And then, yep, that's you. And I'll be like, okay. And then I put it out there.
It's nice to have a sounding board, someone who believes in what you're doing and is supporting what you're doing and helping you. That's nice.
Yeah, and where I love it is when I meet people, I'm exactly what they're expecting.
Yeah.
Right? So, and what's nice about that is people that, first of all, no one is going to like everybody.
No.
Right?
Yeah.
So some people, first of all, I really appreciate that you like what I'm doing.
Yeah, I love it.
But I know that there's a whole nother set of people that are watching what I'm doing going, I would never hire that guy.
And that's okay.
That's okay.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
And the thing is, if they were to invite me over to, do an evaluation, talk to them about their home, I would be the same person that they see online. So they wouldn't hire me anyways.
Yeah, you're right.
Right?
Although they should.
Well, hey.
But I have to say, the first time I ever saw you, I was sitting with a colleague, and I look over and I see you, and you had, let me see if I can remember, it was a silver puffy, almost like you were going to space jacket.
Okay, yeah.
A bright yellow hat. And I can't remember, like, certain colored shoes. Oh, and kind of like an outfit like you're wearing now, which is like, almost looks like fancy pajamas.
Fancy pajamas. These are matching pants and shirt.
They are fantastic. And I was like,
this is like a suit.
who is that man? He's like a walking, like you look like walking joy. And I think I texted that to you.
Yeah.
Like just walking happiness is what you portray. And so I'm so glad we met because then I can have you on here and share your message with everyone else. But you definitely are who you portray, I guess now on social media. And it's awesome.
Well, I appreciate that.
So tell me, what do you think makes a successful real estate agent?
Tough question. Because I think it depends, right? So there's a lot of people that are really successful that do it a completely different way than I do. And I think the most important thing as a real estate agent is client first, caring about people, right? Making decisions that you truly believe are good for people and putting in maximum effort all the time. And now it's different because every realtor has a different skill set. So I'm not saying realtors need to do what I'm doing because this is me, right?
Yeah.
There's lots of realtors that have created massive teams and huge successes doing things completely different than I do. I think in general, for me, what I feel is really important as a realtor to do is care about your clients, do everything you can to help them all the time, And then something I believe in is marketing matters, right? And active marketing matters. For me, I know that if I put a sign in the ground and put it up on all the realtor sites, I'll get one demo of people. It's, I call it passive marketing. So it's people that are searching. So someone drives by the house, sees a sign, or someone that lives on the street. So maybe that's, I mean, if you're not on a main street, that's 20 people, right?
Yeah.
So 20 people know the house is for sale. Then if you put it online, it's people that are looking for a specific algorithm. So 3-bedroom house, 2-bathroom, this area, they'll come up, right? That's good. But I believe active marketing matters because now you create a video, you create marketing materials that gets put in front of people that aren't searching there or driving by and creating excitement around something. So now, instead of maybe 2,000 people or 1,000 people knowing a house for sale, if I can get 50,000 or 100,000 people to know, the chance of attracting the highest buyer and the person that wants the house the most, I'm increasing my client's chance of finding that person.
Right. Yeah.
But here's the kicker. Now that I know that, I have to do that. Because again, back to what I said before, I need to put in maximum effort all the time to help my clients as much as I can. But now what I'm stuck with is now I have to consistently deliver that for clients if they want it. So I offer that every time, but you'd be surprised. Sometimes people just, they don't want, it's counterintuitive because you'd think you'd want that exposure so that you can get the most money. But sometimes people want to use me because it's a referral and they're like, Scotty will take care of you. But they're like, I don't want everyone to know my house is for sale. So then I don't do a crazy video, or I'll do just a walkthrough video, and then they don't want me to advertise it or pump it out. So it'll just be on the listing.
Has any of your sellers wanted to be in the video?
I've done a few things with clients that wanted to do celebration videos where we played like volleyball over top of the sold sign. I had clients that did like a slip and slide under the sold sign.
Oh my God.
And like to music because they wanted to do it. But that's normally if the clients ask to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's fun.
I'm in for having fun.
So tell me about how you choose your songs. How does that creative process happen?
So my process when I'm creating a listing song is quite lengthy. I start out by writing what I call a hook. I have no musical background. I have a marketing background. So this is not because I can sing, can't do that. Not because I have I wasn't part of band or any sort of music stuff. It's because from a marketing side, I believe that if it rhymes and if it can get stuck in a head, it's going to be what's best for my client. Because again, I'll go into coffee shops and someone will ask me, they'll sing me part of the hook.
Oh, wow.
Like randomly. Someone I don't know, be like, just all of a sudden singing part of it. And I'll be like, that worked.
Well, my brothers are mortgage agents in Cambridge. And I was like, oh yeah, I'm interviewing Scott Henderson. They're like, oh yeah, that guy's hilarious. So and actually, even I was just on a podcast and I said that I was interviewing you. And she goes, oh my gosh, I know that guy. He's so funny. So it's like whatever you're doing is definitely working.
So this process can take anywhere between 4 hours and 12 hours to create what I want to create. And I do it overnight because again, priority number one is that I'm a dad. So whenever I do that, I'll start after bedtime. So start at like 9 at night. And the goal is to have the music part of the song and the idea for the hook done by 9 a.m. That's the goal. I'll record just the hook, and then that's when I play it to my wife and kids. And at that point, it's devastating when they say they don't like it, because I'm like, I didn't sleep last night.
Oh my goodness.
Right?
Yeah.
So then I find out why they didn't like it. Sometimes it's just because I didn't nail the vocals. sometimes it's because they're like, that music's not good. We're like, okay, well, I don't know. I'm not musical. So I'm like, thanks. I guess it's not good. So then I'll go back to the drawing board. But that's the process to create the music. Then I do bullet points of all the key aspects of the house. So square footage, bedrooms, bathrooms, layout, things that are interesting, location, anything that I think has to be in there. And because I know that there's going to be, less people that watch the full walkthrough, I know all that information needs to be in the hook.
Right.
So I got 90 seconds to hit all the key elements. Again, just from a marketing perspective, for my clients, I need to get people to know all the key things in 90 seconds. So that's why a lot of the times I have parts that are speaking fast. So it's like rhythmic talking.
Yeah.
And it's like bop, 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 bop. And then I normally go into something that's like a ramp up that's gonna then get stuck into their head.
Wow, that is quite the process.
When
you nail it down, it must be so exciting. You're like, oh, like I've got this, How do you know? Like, how does your family tell you? Like, how do you know? Just they say, yes, this is good?
No, if they're dancing around, if they want to hear it again. So if they don't ask to hear it again, that's their nice way of saying it's terrible.
Right.
No, so they know that I'm big on constructive criticism. I love it when they're honest with me and they're like, you know what, that's mid-range.
Right.
And I'm like, what do you mean? It's like, it's around middle of what you normally do. And I'll be like, okay, I gotta go back down and improve it. A lot of the times it's the vocals, right? Because again, I'm not a singer, right? So for me to nail it is very hard.
That's
right?
Unbelievable. It's incredible that you actually, even though you're not a vocal person, you're doing it. You're just putting yourself out there.
It's marketing though, right? So again, I think like a normal real estate video gets like 200 views, right? So like 200 or 100,000, right? Like, so I have to put the effort in.
Well, I still sing like Bungie, Bungie, Bungalow.
Nice.
I'll just sing that every now and then. It's so funny how
the one from 2020 or the new. I did a more recent Bungie Bungalow.
It was a recent one.
Recent one.
Yeah, the recent one. What are you excited about for the future? Like, what's coming up? What are you excited about?
I've never felt this busy, which is good.
Yeah.
But it's everything you do today starts panning out down the road, right? 3 months, 6 months, depends on what industry you're in. And I've been putting in a lot of effort marketing-wise these past couple years, and I'm noticing now it's starting to pay off, which is nice. It's good.
So if somebody wants to work with you, what is the best way for them to find you and to see what you do?
Sure. Instagram's the easiest. I have a lot of stuff on there, and you can see how I am as a person. Not everything I post is real estate related. You can also see all my like reels and things like that. You can find me on my website, which is scottyh.com. You can find me on Scott Henderson, Realtor Scotty H, both on Instagram and Facebook. I have a YouTube channel, which I just post videos on. I got to get better at YouTube, but...
Awesome. I'm going to ask a couple personal questions just for fun.
For sure.
What would you say your wife would say is your best quality?
I would say my wife would say my best quality is my empathy towards others, I would say.
Amazing. Who's your favorite comedian?
Favorite comedian? I have so many. I grew up watching Saturday Night Live.
Yes.
So I watched every single Saturday Night Live from 1990 to 2010. Every single one.
Wow.
So, but if I were to pick one comedian, probably Ryan Reynolds.
He's fantastic.
His delivery gets me every time.
Yeah.
Right? Like his strategic pausing, I just find him very amusing.
Okay. If you were I just remembered. I was at an interview once.
Yeah.
And I showed up late for the interview. It was the only interview I've ever showed up late
Yeah.
for. And I think that they were just messing around with me. And they said, if you were a fruit, what fruit would you be? Anyways, I was going to ask you that, but I'm not going to ask you that.
I have no idea.
I answered strawberry. Anyways, because I said it was...
What's your favorite color?
My favorite color is, I think it's black. I know it's a shade.
Wow.
It's funny because my husband is white and we're like, that's us. We're yin yang. But yours, I know, is plaid. No, it's not plaid. No, it's gingham. No, it's
neon leopard print.
That's what it is. I saw that. I'm like, what? I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah,
I showed my
neon leopard print is my favorite color.
Print. That's hilarious. Okay, what else should we know about you?
I care about people. So like I got into real estate honestly to help people.
Why do you care about helping people so much?
I get a lot of joy out of helping people. So what I'm trying to teach my kids right now is if you can put one smile on a face that wouldn't be there if it wasn't for you every day, that's a good goal, right? Like, so try to improve someone's life in some way every day. So yeah, people, right? Like
it's joy, spreading the joy.
Yeah.
You give one person a smile, they'll give somebody else a smile,
Yeah.
as opposed to the opposite, you know, instead of spreading the frown.
Yeah, I know. And when you messaged me after I met you the first day, I was like, for sure I would be on your podcast because, well, when you messaged me and you said that like I embodied joy to you, I was like, that's the nicest thing. But that's what I'm trying to do, right? Like if I can put a smile on someone's face, that wouldn't have been there.
If we could all do that, just imagine how wonderful this world would be.
Be nice.
Yeah, well, we're going to do our part.
Yeah.
That's all we can do.
One smile at a time.
That's right. I feel like we're a dentist, like commercial right now. But no, this has been so wonderful. Thank you so much for joining me in the conversation and sharing more about you and your process and how you are okay and you accept who you are and you bring yourself to the table and really just being that authentic self and being okay with some people loving it and some people not being okay with it. And that you're okay with that is wonderful. Like if we could all be that way too, it would just, how much joy could we spread?
That's right.
So thank you so much. I appreciate you being here today.
I appreciate you having me.
And thank you for joining us today. The Hugs offer is going to be a playbook of how you can sell your house or how you can buy a house. There's 2 books, like actual handbooks that you can read that Scotty offers. And he will also provide you with an evaluation of your home at no charge. So if you want to know what is the value now, how much equity do you have in your home, he can help you with that. So thank you so much.
I wrote both books.
They're probably fantastic.
They have my face on them.
So
and one of those squigglies, like a coach's chalk drawing.
No way.
Yeah.
So it's like an actual.
The legit playbook. Yeah. These are the step by step. This is what you gotta do.
Get into the game.
It's a science.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Take care. We'll see you again. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share.
Sharing is caring.